seconds left. Juracek now around the boards. Here's Grimaldi on the right wing side. Out to center. Pucha for Fix-Wolinski. Watch out. Fix-Wolinski to the net. He scores! Trey Fix-Wolinski, the franchise. He lights the building on fire again. And the Monsters are even. It's 5 apiece with 21 seconds left. Sillinger. Juracek driving the net to him. He scores! Overtime heroics from David Juracek. Sillinger found him and Juracek wins it for Cleveland. The Monsters have won 8 straight games. That ties a franchise record. And the streak goes onward and upward to victory lane.
What a wild win for the Cleveland Monsters on the 24th of November, a matinee game, a 6-5 victory in OT over the Milwaukee Admirals, and that was one to remember. We'll talk about it in just a minute. Welcome everybody, though, to another edition of Monsters OT. So happy to be with you on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network alongside my co-host Brad Thiessen. I'm Tony Brown. So we have got a big show for you coming up. We'll go in the room and hear from Monsters players and coaches about their recent exploits here as the team is all the way up to second place in the North Division standings. We'll take a look at our Monsters alumni segment, thanks to True North Convenience Stores and a whole lot of other great stuff too. But we begin, of course, with headlines. All right, first up on headlines, Tease, let's talk about that wild win on Sunday. It was a 6-5 final, of course, but man, peaks and valleys for Cleveland. They played great in the first period, and then after that, built a 4-0 lead before giving it all the way back to Milwaukee, who took a 5-4 lead, forcing the Monsters to score, as you saw there, in the final minute of regulation to force overtime. It was crazy.
Yeah, it looked like smooth sailing for the Monsters there for a little while on a Sunday afternoon, but credit the Admirals for not giving up. Came back all the way back to take the lead, and Monsters found that resiliency that they've had throughout this whole streak and able to tie the game, come through in overtime.
Yeah, Trent went so far as to talk about the Monsters kind of showing some disrespect for their opponent there, the way they took their foot off the gas. But it says a lot about the team that they still, even with that stretch of giving up 5 unanswered goals, found a way to rally and win that game. So let's take a look at some of the big performances there in that 6-5 OT win against the Admirals. Trey Fix-Wolinski, of course, with 3 points. 2 goals, including that game-tying goal. 100th AHL point for Owen Sillinger with his first period goal. Ended up with 3 points in the game. Just a cool 3 assists for Mikhail Pucha, who we'll talk about a little bit later in the show. Luca Del Bel Baluz with a couple of goals. Rocco Grimaldi, ho-hum, 2 more assists. He's got a 9-game point streak. And, of course, Juracek in his second game since being sent down from Columbus. And that's that overtime winner there. So what I love to see there, Tease, is all the depth of scoring and all the different guys that are finding a way to make an impact.
Yeah, they got a lot of guys right now in the lineup who are really impacting offensively. You look at a guy like Owen Sillinger now centering that second line, which would be a lot of teams' first lines with Rocco Grimaldi and Mikhail Pucha, and the points that he's putting up right now it's fun to see.
Yeah, well, let's not lose the fact that victory was the Monsters' 8th consecutive win. So let's talk about the streak right now as headlines continues here. 8 straight wins, that ties a club record set during March of 2011. So it's been a while, but it's not an easy thing to do. It dates back, the streak does, to the 8th of November, but it's the longest active win streak in the league. Calgary won 9 earlier this season, so the Monsters can do that if they win their next game. But, winning 5 of those 8 games in overtime or a shootout, they've won a lot of different ways, but it says something about the group that they are finding ways to win, whatever it takes.
Yeah, you said it, a lot of different ways. Home games, road games, playing with the lead, playing from behind, trying to tie games late, overtime, shootouts. Real good goaltending performance, sometimes some high shootout games with 6-5. So the Monsters are showing that they can play any type of game right now, and it shows up in the win column.
Yeah, and at the start of this streak, the team was at 500, 4-4-0-1, now 12-4-0-1. Let's take a look at the North Division standings as they stand at the time of this taping here. Laval with an outstanding start to the season under Pascal Vincent. They've got 27 points, 2 clear of Cleveland. Monsters have played well against Toronto, but the Marlies have a really strong team this year, 1 point behind the Monsters. Then Rochester and Belleville and Syracuse, with Utica bringing up the rear in the division. But it looks like a really deep North Division this year.
It really does. When you look at the overall league standings, it's full of North Division teams right now. So Monsters are in tough, and this 8-game winning streak is really helping them to kind of create some separation.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you can say fairly that the Monsters have really made themselves a contender for the Calder Cup this year in the American League. Let's keep headlines going. Talk about Rocco Grimaldi, because it's hard to ignore the production that he's been able to come up with here recently. Of course, that 9-game point streak, 17 points over that stretch. He's second in the league with 21 points, tied for second with 15 assists, top 5 in power play assists too, and it's remarkably consistent, his production night to night to night. He's been doing it at this level in this league for so many years. Kind of blows you away.
Yeah, it really does, and it shows just what a veteran is. I know at the beginning of the year those points weren't coming for him, but as he stuck with it, stuck with his game and kept going, and a guy like him, those points are going to come, and he's really been showing that lately, and the rest of the team's been feeding off of it.
Yeah, that low center of gravity, it's hard for opposing teams and defenders to deal with him when he gets around the net, creates that leverage. So he's been just going gangbusters here. He's also riding a 6-game assist streak. If he can advance his point streak one more game, that would tie for the longest point streak in the league this season. Matthew Phillips out in Colorado had a 10-gamer earlier this year. All right, let's keep going now with another guy who is just completely blowing people away, and that is Denton Matejchuk, a 20-year-old rookie defenseman who was the AHL Player of the Week for the week ending on November the 17th. But really, you look at all of the offensive categories that are available in the stats packet in the AHL, and he's up there among rookies and defensemen in each and every one of them. Remarkably consistent, mature beyond his years.
Yeah, maturity is the word that comes to mind for sure when you watch his game. There's no panic in his game. He always seems to have things under control, know what's going on the ice. Power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. He's being used in all situations and excelling in all those situations, and he's been a catalyst on that back end.
Yeah, so poised is the thing I noticed. Just kind of unflappable the way he makes his way wherever he's going on the ice at any given time. 2 more additions recently, already bearing tons of fruit for Cleveland. They're back. It's David Jiricek and Mikhail Pucha, sent down on the same day, the 20th of November, by Columbus to Cleveland. 2 games for each guy so far. Point per game for Jiri with an OT winner. 2 points per game for Mikhail Pucha, and he's a guy that Trent Vogelhuber said is among the lowest maintenance players that he can remember in his time with the Monsters. He's just so put together.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why he made the Blue Jackets out of camp this year, is because he's so reliable out there. Now with this chance for him to come to Cleveland and kind of work on his offensive game and gain that confidence on the offensive side of the puck, and the Monsters would love it if he could continue the pace that he's on right now on the offensive side.
Let's talk a little bit about the goaltending too. Tease, Jet Greaves, we know, had a couple of tough outings. Not his fault at the start of the year, but a function of the team kind of coming together. But boy, he's really gotten back to his old self here recently, riding a 5-game winning streak so far. Gave up 15 goals in those first 3 games. 6-1 since then, however. He's top 5 in saves, and he has had some huge performances and a lot of clutch saves at key times in these wins during this streak.
Yeah, he really has. He's really stabilized things back there for the team, and just playing his game, staying with it day in, day out. He doesn't change no matter if there's wins or losses going on the board. So, really happy with the way he's been playing lately.
All right, let's wrap up headlines now with a quick look at what's ahead for Cleveland, particularly on the road, as the Monsters the day before Thanksgiving are in Rochester, a 7 o'clock start. And then before a whole bunch of home games in the month of December, they'll head on December 1st and 3rd to Grand Rapids and Milwaukee, respectively. You can catch all of those games on Fox Sports 1350 The Gambler and AHL TV on Flow Hockey. The Monsters 7-3 on the road. They've won 5 straight road games. And so it'll be good to get back out away from Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and get down to business on the road. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, plenty more Monsters OT ahead. So stay with us on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back to Monsters OT on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Tony Brown back with you alongside Brad Thiessen. A lot of show coming up still, including our Monsters alumni segment, courtesy of True North Convenience Stores. But right now, it's time to go in the room and hear from some Monsters coaches and players. So, Tease, let's begin here with thoughts from Trent Vogelhuber. This was pregame on the 23rd of November, so a Saturday game there. First game for David Jiricek, back with the Monsters, sent down from Columbus. And Voges spoke to his mindset coming into his return to the AHL.
Yeah, I think he's in an okay place. We've got a good history, and level of trust. So we had a good conversation yesterday, and again, nobody's dream is to be in the American League. But when you're here, you got to make the best of it, enjoy it, and we're going to do that with him. Continue to push the areas of his game that need to improve, so he can be an NHL player one day. And so yeah, I've had him for the better parts of 2 years. got a good relationship with them. So I think we're in a good place where we can be honest with each other and then continue to push him to improve.
Well, I think it's really important for any coach to feel like they can be honest with their players and to have that back and forth, and it seems like those guys feel comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to realize that not everyone's path to the NHL is the same. So, you got to remember Yuri's not even 21 years old yet.
Right.
It's been a lot of ups and downs so far, but he's got a long future ahead of him. And how everyone handles these kind of situations right now is going to dictate how that goes.
All right, let's hear from the same game there. Trent Vogelhuber talking about the depth of scoring and all the star power on the roster this year, how that takes heat off individual players.
I think it's important that everybody knows, and we're establishing, like, we don't need any superheroes, anybody to do anything on their own. The way that we get rewarded is by sticking to the details that we talk about all the time in there, and everybody just kind of doing their part to be a peg in the wheel almost, right? Like, you're just doing your part so we can roll, and whoever gets rewarded, and that's it's a fun way to play. I think that's the most sustainable way to have success over a long season, and most importantly in the playoffs.
The guy I think about when we're talking about lots of focal points and not just one, it seems to me it frees up a guy like Trey Fix-Wolansky a little bit to focus on himself and not have to carry all that scoring burden.
Yeah, when you have so many threats throughout the lineup, also for the other team, it's hard for them to key on someone. So, maybe Trey or someone like that is not seeing the top defensive pair unit anymore, or the top shutdown guys. So it frees them up to be able to play against some players that maybe they can have some more success against.
All right, heading into the next game, that wild noon win over Milwaukee. We talked to Trent a little bit about Mikhail Pucha and how he comes as a complete package here from the NHL to the AHL.
I wasn't too worried about him. He's a pro. Obviously, we've had him all last year. He's played a big chunk of games in the NHL, so pretty low maintenance. You know what you're going to get. He's solid all over the ice, but yeah, we want him to be attack mindset in the offensive side. I thought he took opportunities to shoot, and he gets rewarded with a high skill goal there. So happy for him.
When a coach uses that term, low maintenance, that is like the biggest compliment you can give anybody.
Yeah, for sure. That's something that as a player you want your coach's trust. And when Trent's standing behind the bench and he sees 82 in front of him, he knows he can trust him when he goes on the ice.
Mid-November, Monsters were in Providence, and we caught up with Curtis Hall, a guy who grew up in the Cleveland area and played previously for the Bruins. But prior to that trip, he scored his first goal as a Monster in a building in which he used to watch the Monsters as a kid and was inspiring to his hockey career. Cool moment for Curtis.
Yeah, I had some family in the building and a couple friends, and that moment meant a lot to me. Obviously, to tie it up for the team late in the third was one thing alone, so that was big. But to score at home, my first goal with the Monsters was really awesome feeling, yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, man. You grow up, watching the Lake Erie Monsters. One day you're in the building scoring a goal for the Cleveland Monsters. It's a full circle moment.
Yeah, it's great for the city of Cleveland, too, for hockey, for all the kids here in Cleveland growing up. They're watching the Monsters, and I'm sure dreaming of playing for them one day, and for him to be able to do that, maybe that paves the way for someone else to do the same someday.
Yeah, it makes it real. It makes it a tangible thing. You can do this growing up as a hockey player in this city. All right, finally, on In the Room this time, we're going to hear from Denton Matejchuk. We talked to him about adjusting to the pro game, but not in terms of hockey.
It's obviously bigger guys, and the schedule is a bit more hectic than junior, but it's nice to play lots of games, and you get excited for them. So that's not too big of an issue, and I just feel like still kind of getting adapted to it. The life and everything. Outside of hockey, honestly, has probably been the biggest difference for me. Just being by on my own. Making my own food and getting all that stuff ready. It's a bit different, but I'm still learning and enjoying it.
Yeah, for those that don't realize, when you come out of major junior, you're living with billet families and someone's cooking dinner for you. Not the case in the pro game.
No, you're on your own, so it's important to pick a good roommate when you get here, someone who can maybe help you out. But I think Denton's handling that adjustment pretty well so far, and it's a lot coming at you when you first turn pro. But when you watch him play and on and off the ice, he's someone who's fit right in.
No doubt about it. All right, time for another break on Monsters OT, but plenty more show ahead. Stay with us. You're watching Monsters OT on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back back to Monsters OT on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Lots more show to get to here, including our Monsters alumni segment, courtesy of True North Convenience Stores. But right now, we wanted to check in on a chat we had with Monsters president Mike Ostrowski during a recent Monsters Rock Entertainment Sports Network broadcast. And we started our conversation talking about attendance. It's been superb again this year for Cleveland.
Yeah, Tia, it's amazing. We expect great crowds, and we continue to get them, and they just keep growing. I mean, coming off of last year with leading the league in attendance again at 10,264 fans per game. We're up actually 11% year over year from this time last year at just under 9,400. We've had some weekday games. Even our weekday games, we had a crowd a couple Wednesdays ago over 8,000 fans. So just been great. The fan support, it doesn't surprise us, but when you see games like this, even we'll probably have over 10,000 here today. We had over 10,000 here yesterday. These crowds are incredible, and the fan support is amazing.
Yeah, it's not surprising, but it certainly never gets old, that's for sure. All right, it's coming into the holiday season. That means two things. Lots of great holiday promotions coming up, but also holiday plans are on sale.
They are. They started at only $84. You get four Monsters games, and then some great partner added value elements. The Cleveland Museum of Natural History is presenting that. You get tickets to that. You can see it there on the screen. You get that awesome Monsters knit hat, and then Disney on Ice comes here annually to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in mid-January, so you can grab tickets to that as well. You get that with as many tickets as you purchase in your package. And then we also have our new Caesars Rewards Club, where if you want a stepped-up plan with all-inclusive food and beverage, you can get in on that as well. So great games. You can pick your games, any games you want to come to, and we're really excited to have that plan again this year.
We're talking here with Monsters president Mike Ostrowski, getting ready for the third period here. Oh, also, don't want to gloss over our Season of Giving, which is underway, presented by Physicians Ambulance. Monsters are out in the community really throughout the year, but especially this time of year.
It's a great time. We love being out in the community. Physicians Ambulance, such a great partner and helping us just get out and work with so many different community organizations. We were just out on Thursday at our great partners, the University Hospitals, Rainbow Babies and Children's, doing some crafts and having a Thanksgiving party, playing some games. And it just brings such a great smile to the patients' faces. Our players are amazing, our front office staff being out there, and that's just one of many things, Tony, that we are doing during this Season of Giving. We're going to be adopting families and giving them presents throughout the year. Families going through some tough times. We have our toy drive giveaway where you can bring a new and unwrapped gift to games through December 7th, and it's what we should be doing, but our players and staff loves doing that.
All right, I got to get you out of here on this one. We're taking a page out of our opponent today, Milwaukee's book. Okay. They're known for their post-game concerts, and now we've got a couple of those coming up. This is exciting.
Yes, we do. Yeah, Milwaukee does it well, and we're looking forward to doing that as well. So we're having our emo night coming up in December, on December 6th, and the concert hall, the Roxy at Mahal's in Lakewood, a group that plays there a lot. Heart Attack Man, we just announced that. So for the emo fans out there, we're going to be having a post-game show on the 6th, and then a little bit later in the year in March, we're going to have a country music night presented by WGAR and Five Iron Golf, and Sadie Bass, a up-and-coming country music star, will be doing a post-game concert as well. So a lot of fun things. You got some hockey, you got some music, you got some great times, and we're looking forward to those promotions as well.
Yes, and you can get all the information on the promo schedule and on how to buy tickets, whatever package you're interested in, online, clevelandmonsters.com. That is Mike Ostrowski, Monsters president. Thanks very much. Great job.
Great stuff there. Before we go, let's quickly run down some of the promotions that we talked about in that interview coming up here. Black Friday is one of the biggest ones, Brad, every year, a 1-2-3 Friday as well. That's on Friday, the 29th of November against Toronto. Big, important game there. Also, we've got Emo Night. I know you're very excited for that.
Can't wait.
Personally. Right. An appearance by Cleveland's own Heart Attack Man. That's a band. They will be there when the Monsters play the Crunch on the 6th of December. That's a 7 o'clock game. Same with the rematch the following night. That'll be Youth Hockey Night presented by Cargill. And that features Sing for Santa, which has become a pretty cool holiday tradition here in recent seasons for the Monsters. Get more information, get your tickets at clevelandmonsters.com. Quick break. We'll be back to wrap up the show with our Monsters alumni segment presented by True North Convenience Stores. It's Monsters OT, and it's only here on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Welcome back. one last time to Monsters OT here on Rock Entertainment Sports Network. Time to wrap our show today with our Monsters Alumni Spotlight, courtesy of True North Convenience Stores. And Brad, we're looking at Kirill Marchenko today. Didn't play for the Monsters for long, just 16 games in the 22-23 season, but he scored on, I think, his first shift in the AHL, and he's taken off, doing great things with the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, just the memories of him being in Cleveland, just the joy that he had coming to the rink every day. Just an awesome guy. You never know how guys coming to North America for the first time are going to react, but he embraced everything that it was to be here in Cleveland, and it's awesome to see the success he's having in Columbus now.
Yeah, super well-liked guy in the dressing room for sure. And this year, point per game through 20 games with the Blue Jackets, he's been outstanding. We're proud to say he's a former Cleveland Monster. Well, that's it for the show today. A lot of thank yous to hand out first and foremost to Leo Simone, Jeremy Hawks, the rest of our outstanding crew. Thanks to True North Convenience Stores. Thanks to you, Brad Thiessen. Until next time, I'm Tony Brown. Thanks for watching. This has been Monsters OT on the Rock Entertainment Sports Network.